3 years ago, I stood in my parents' lavish living room, my Stanford MBA diploma still fresh in its frame, while my father's words cut through the air like shards of glass. "No daughter of mine is going to waste her life on some ridiculous tech startup," he roared, his face purple with rage. "Either you join Mitchell & Sons Consulting as planned, or you get out." My mother hovered anxiously nearby, her perfectly manicured hands twisting her pearl necklace. "Listen to your father, Olivia. He knows what's best. The company has a 10-year partnership track waiting for you." "I don't want the partnership track," I said quietly, holding my ground. "I want to build something of my own. My AI development platform could revolutionize how businesses operate." "AI?" Dad scoffed. "Playing with computers while we're offering you a real career? Your brother David made partner in 7 years. He understands family loyalty." "Ah yes, David. The golden child. The one who followed the prescribed path, who never questioned the family legacy." "My platform works," I insisted. "The prototype is already showing incredible results. If you just look at the projections." "Enough." Dad's fist slammed against his mahogany desk. "You either join the family business or you're cut off. Completely. No trust fund, no connections, nothing." I looked at my mother, but she averted her eyes. Always the dutiful wife, never standing against my father's decisions. "Fine," I said, straightening my spine. "Keep your money. Keep your connections. I'll do this on my own." "Get out," Dad's voice turned cold. "And never come back. You're no longer part of this family." "Richard, please," Mom whispered, but he silenced her with a look. I walked out of that house with nothing but my diploma, my laptop containing my AI platform's code, and an unwavering belief in my vision. That night, I slept on my best friend Sarah's couch, using my last paycheck from my summer internship to incorporate Phoenix Industries. The name was deliberate, rising from the ashes of my former life. The first year was brutal. I worked out of a tiny shared workspace, eating ramen noodles and working 18-hour days. My AI platform, which I named Aria, Advanced Resource Intelligence Algorithm, slowly evolved from prototype to viable product. What my family didn't know was that during my time at Stanford, I'd already made valuable connections in the tech world. Venture capitalists who saw the potential in Aria started calling. Seed funding turned into Series A, then Series B. By year 2, Phoenix Industries occupied 3 floors in a downtown high-rise. Aria was being implemented by mid-sized companies across the country, revolutionizing their operational efficiency. I kept my role as CEO quiet, operating through a board of directors and letting the technology speak for itself. I never appeared in press releases. Never gave interviews. As far as the business world knew, O.J. Mitchell, my initials, was a reclusive tech genius who refused to be photographed. My family, who had blocked my number and removed me from all social media, had no idea their disowned daughter was building an empire. Now, 3 years later, I sat in my penthouse office, reviewing the morning's acquisition reports. Phoenix Industries had grown beyond even my ambitious projections. Aria had evolved into the most sophisticated AI business platform in the market, and our client list included half of the Fortune 500. "Ms. Mitchell." My assistant Michael's voice came through the intercom. "There's something you need to see." He entered with a tablet displaying a news article. "Mitchell & Sons Consulting announces historic partnership with Global Dynamics, $2 billion deal to revolutionize international operations." I smiled, scanning the details. Global Dynamics was one of the world's largest corporations. This deal would indeed be historic, if it happened. "There's more," Michael said. "Global Dynamics is insisting on using Aria for the entire operational integration. The deal can't proceed without Phoenix Industries' involvement." "Have they reached out?" "Yes, ma'am. Their CEO just called. Mitchell & Sons has no idea we're involved yet. They're expecting to meet Phoenix Industries' CEO tomorrow to discuss terms." I leaned back in my chair, thinking of my father's face when he'd thrown me out. Of my mother's silent compliance. Of David's smug superiority. "Michael, clear my schedule for tomorrow's meeting." I stood up, walking to the window overlooking the city. "It's time for a family reunion." "They'll be meeting in their headquarters," he cautioned. "Your father's territory." I touched the window, my reflection overlaying the cityscape. Gone was the uncertain young graduate with dreams of AI innovation. In her place stood a CEO who had built a billion-dollar company from nothing. Perfect, I said. Have the car ready at 9. Michael? Make sure all the paperwork requires my signature. My real signature. He smiled, understanding dawning. Yes, Ms. Mitchell. Will you be needing the full financial reports as well? Everything. It's time my family learns exactly what their ridiculous tech startup has become. As Michael left, my phone buzzed with a news alert. Mitchell & Sons stock soars on Global Dynamics announcement. Enjoy it while it lasts, Dad, I thought. Tomorrow you'll learn who really holds the power in this deal. The next morning I stood in my private elevator, ascending to the top floor of Mitchell & Sons Consulting's headquarters. The same building where I'd interned during college summers, where David had his corner office, where my father held court like a corporate king. My Armani suit was a power move classic black with subtle red accents, the color of Phoenix Industries logo. My heels clicked purposefully on the marble floors as Michael walked beside me, carrying a sleek briefcase containing the contracts that would change everything. The Global Dynamics team is already here, he murmured. Along with your father, brother, and their entire executive board. Perfect, I smiled. Let them all witness this. The receptionist knew since my time here, looked up. Welcome to Mitchell & Sons. You must be from Phoenix Industries. The CEO actually, I said smoothly. They're expecting me. She nodded, pressing her intercom. Mr. Mitchell? The CEO of Phoenix Industries is here. Send them in. My father's voice boomed through the speaker. That commanding tone I'd heard so many times, now tinged with eagerness. He needed this deal. Michael opened the boardroom doors and I walked into a scene that could have been from 3 years ago. Dad at the head of the table, David to his right, their executives arranged like corporate courtiers. The Global Dynamics team sat opposite, looking expectant. Then they saw me. Dad's face went from confident to shocked to pale in the span of seconds. David's mouth dropped open. The Mitchell & Sons executives, many who'd known me since childhood, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Olivia. Dad choked out. Hello, Father. I walked to the empty chair at the opposite end of the table. I believe you were expecting the CEO of Phoenix Industries? This is impossible, David sputtered. You can't be. O.J. Mitchell, I said clearly, enjoying their confusion. Olivia Jane Mitchell. Founder and CEO of Phoenix Industries. Creator of the ARIA platform. I turned to the Global Dynamics team. Shall we begin? The Global Dynamics CEO, Angela Chin, looked between me and my father with barely concealed amusement. Well, this is unexpected. I take it there's some history here. Ancient history, I said smoothly, opening my laptop. Now about the integration requirements. Wait just a minute, Dad found his voice, face reddening. You can't just walk in here and... Actually, I can. I nodded to Michael, who distributed folders to everyone present. As you can see, Global Dynamics has made the use of ARIA a non-negotiable requirement for this partnership. And ARIA belongs to Phoenix Industries. Which belongs to me. David was frantically flipping through the papers. These numbers. This is billions in revenue. The client list. How did you... Remember my ridiculous tech startup? I smiled. Turns out AI is quite profitable. More profitable than traditional consulting, actually. Angela Chin leaned forward. Ms. Mitchell, our technical team has reviewed ARIA's capabilities. We're prepared to make Phoenix Industries the primary technology partner in this venture. That would effectively make you the controlling force in the partnership. Dad's face went from red to purple. Now see here. The terms are quite clear, I continued, ignoring him. Mitchell & Sons would become a secondary partner, operating under Phoenix Industries' technological framework. All major decisions would require my approval. This is outrageous. David stood up. Dad, we can't let her. Let me. I laughed softly. David, you don't seem to understand. You need this deal. Mitchell & Sons' last 3 quarters have shown declining revenues. Your traditional consulting model is becoming obsolete. Without ARIA, Global Dynamics walks away. And your stock price. I pulled up a chart. Well, let's just say today's surge won't last long. The room fell silent. The Mitchell & Sons executives looked nervously at my father, who seemed to have aged 10 years in 10 minutes. How do you know about our financials? He demanded. I know everything, Dad. Every struggling project, every lost client, every desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of success. Did you think I wouldn't do my homework? When did you become so? He trailed off. Ruthless. I finished. I learned from the best. Get out and never come back. Those were your words, remember? Angela Chin cleared her throat. Perhaps we should focus on the terms of the partnership? Of course, I said pleasantly. Michael, the contracts, please. As Michael distributed the documents, I caught sight of my reflection in the boardroom's windows. 3 years ago, I'd stood in this building as an intern following my father's orders. Now I sat at the opposite end of his table holding his company's future in my hands. You'll note on page 3, I continued, that all technological implementations must be approved by Phoenix Industries. Section 7 outlines the revenue-sharing structure, with Phoenix taking 60%. 60%? David exploded. That's highway robbery. That's business, I corrected. Something about family loyalty, isn't it, Dad? The next hour was a masterclass in corporate power dynamics. I methodically walked through each contract clause, watching my father's empire slip through his fingers with every page turn. David kept trying to interject with increasingly desperate alternatives, but Angela Chin from Global Dynamics shut him down each time. The technology integration has to be complete, she insisted. Our board won't accept anything less than full ARIA implementation. But surely we can negotiate the terms, David pleaded, shooting panicked looks at our father. I leaned back, enjoying the role reversal. The terms are non-negotiable. Just like your ultimatum was 3 years ago, Dad. Finally, my father spoke, his voice rough with suppressed emotion. May I have a moment alone with Ms. Mitchell? Angela Chin nodded graciously. Of course. We'll take a brief recess. As everyone filed out, I remained seated watching my father. He seemed smaller somehow, his usual commanding presence diminished by the realization that his daughter now held all the cards. How did you do it? He asked quietly once we were alone. How did you build all this? I did exactly what I told you I would 3 years ago. I built something revolutionary. I pulled up Aria's interface on the boardroom's main screen. While you were clinging to outdated consulting methods, I was creating the future. He watched the AI system process complex business scenarios in real time, his expression a mix of awe and regret. Why didn't you show me this before? I tried, Dad. That night you threw me out, I had all the projections, all the prototypes. You wouldn't even look at them. I was wrong, he whispered, the words seeming to physically pain him. Yes, you were. About me, about AI, about everything. I stood up, walking to the window. Did you know Google tried to buy Phoenix last year? Offered $12 billion. I turned them down. He made a choking sound. $12 billion. Aria is worth more. It's the future of business operations and every major corporation knows it. I turned to face him. Including Mitchell and Sons, apparently. We're not, things aren't. He struggled. Things aren't good. I finished. I know. Your company lost 30% of its market share in the past year. Traditional consulting is dying, Dad. Without this deal, without Aria, Mitchell and Sons won't survive another 2 years. He slumped in his chair, Richard Mitchell, the great corporate titan, finally broken. What do you want? Want? I laughed softly. I want you to understand what you threw away that night. Not just a daughter, but a vision that could have transformed your company years ago. The boardroom doors opened and Michael entered with a fresh stack of documents. Ms. Mitchell, the revised contracts are ready. And your mother is here. My heart skipped a beat. I hadn't seen my mother in 3 years. She stood in the doorway, looking elegant as always but somehow fragile. Olivia. Hello, Mom. She took a hesitant step forward. I saw the news about Phoenix Industries. About Aria. I've been following your success for months, secretly. Secretly. I raised an eyebrow. I subscribed to tech newsletters. Created a separate email account to track Phoenix's progress. Her voice quivered. I was so proud, but I didn't know how to reach out. You could have called, I said flatly. Or stopped Dad from throwing me out in the first place. I was wrong too, she admitted. We both were. Seeing you now, what you've built. David burst back into the boardroom, waving his tablet. Dad, the stock is falling. Someone leaked that the deal might be in trouble. I smiled. Actually, that was me. A carefully worded press release about Phoenix Industries, exploring other partnership opportunities. Amazing how markets react, isn't it? You're destroying us, David accused. No, brother dear. Your outdated business model is destroying you. I'm offering salvation. I nodded to Michael, who distributed the final contracts. Though my terms have changed slightly. Dad straightened. Changed how? Mitchell & Sons will be absorbed into Phoenix Industries completely. You'll become a subsidiary, rebranded as Phoenix Consulting. Dad, you'll step down as CEO, taking an advisory role only. David, you'll head the traditional consulting division, reporting directly to my executive team. This is blackmail, David protested. This is business, I corrected. But feel free to decline. I'm sure Global Dynamics will be happy to partner with Phoenix Industries directly, leaving Mitchell & Sons to, what's the phrase? Oh yes, never come back. The silence that followed was deafening. Mom had sunk into a chair, Dad stared at the contracts like they were poison, and David looked like he might explode. There's one more thing, I added, pulling out a final document. A personal contract. You all sign a public acknowledgement that you were wrong about me, about Arya, about everything. No more pretending I don't exist. No more family secrets. You want us to humiliate ourselves? David demanded. I want you to face the truth. Publicly. Angela Chin and her team returned, taking in the tension in the room. Shall we proceed with the signatures? I stood at the head of the table, my father's usual position. Well, Dad, what's it going to be? Sign or watch your company collapse. His hand shook as he picked up the pen. One by one the documents were signed, the business contracts, the personal acknowledgement, everything. Welcome to Phoenix Industries, I said smoothly. Michael will show you to your new offices. Dad, yours will be on the 3rd floor. David, 5th floor, East Wing. Mom. I hesitated. Would you like to have dinner? Talk about those tech newsletters you've been reading. She nodded, tears in her eyes. As my family filed out, defeated, humbled but still intact, Angela Chin approached me. That was quite a show. You planned this all along, didn't you? Let's just say I believe in poetic justice. I gathered my things. Now about Global Dynamics' international expansion. That evening I stood in my penthouse office, watching the sun set over the city. On my desk dozens of news alerts flashed. Phoenix Industries acquires Mitchell & Sons. Tech giant absorbs traditional consulting firm. Father-daughter drama ends in corporate takeover. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Dinner tomorrow? Your choice of restaurant. Below it was a message from Dad. You were right. About everything. I'm sorry. And finally from David, that AI platform. It's actually brilliant. Think you could show me how it works?